Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's the beginning of my birthday weekend. We got Mr. Ticket over here, and we are in an undisclosed area in Liberty County, Florida. Back at it again, guys. Here to see some Sarracenia flava and their cohorts. Alright, down here we got an enormous Sarracenia citacina. Now remember, where these guys grow, they usually get completely flooded over on part of the year, and they can actually complete their trapping all underwater. And that's how these guys can catch fish fry and tadpoles and stuff like that. But this is that's a big one. Got that nice red coloring. Now again, those white patches are just false escapes for the bugs to get in there. They think that's a way out, but nope, just a way deeper in. We got a storm rolling in. See how long we can hang out at this spot before we get rained out. Go around and see what we can see. There's just such a good mix here. I mean, we got native orchids blooming down here amongst the Sarracenia. This is Pogonia ophiglosoides. Nice beautiful lip there. If I could ever get steady. Gorgeous native orchid amongst all of these exceptional Sarracenia. Now what you're all looking at here is all Sarracenia flava. We just have different color forms. Like here would be known as var rugelii, or the cutthroat version. Now that's the one you see most common in this area. And then we have what this area is famous for, which is var rupicorpora. Gorgeous red body with the yellow mouth and yellow top. And then we have my personal favorite, var ornata, with these deep stripes. Just such an intricate plant. Gorgeous. Alright, we're gonna go on now. Down here we got one that's almost completely red, which some would argue that this would be var artropurpurea, but really all these varieties and things that we put the names to the plants, they're not out here following by those rules. You'll see a lot of them in this field that don't really fit any specific color form description or anything like that. They're just kind of doing their own thing. But the diversity is just amazing. Like a field of ketchup and mustard. Beautiful. Down here we got something super cool. This has to be the largest Pinguicula planifolia I've ever seen. Look at that beast. Growing partially submerged. I mean, look at the size of that thing. It's ridiculous. Now these guys are carnivorous plants too. You know, catching the small bugs on their sticky leaves there. And I'm guessing since the water is sitting in this area, it's making them be able to grow up nice and fat. Because I mean, damn, look at that thing. If we could get the focus. Yeah, it's gigantic. Pinguicula planifolia, enormous. I don't think I've ever seen one this big. Let's see what else we can find. And they get big in this field. The size of that. Little monster. Now just the detail on these plants is simply amazing. I mean, look at that. It's got a big daddy long leg hanging out on it. But man, absolutely gorgeous. Every one of them has like their own special little flair. Gorgeous. Now, of course, you know, in these areas, you always get lots of Sarracenia, threadleaf sundew, those sticky leaves. I mean, this is an absolute huge sundew species. Like, it can get almost 2 feet tall. With those little new leaves unfurling. Gorgeous plant. And very prevalent all throughout this field. Man. Best way to spend my birthday weekend. Damn. That's a good one. Those super deep veins. Awesome. Got some pretty cool dwarf cypress that are rimming this bog. Probably because the bedrock's not too far down below. Oh man, look at that juice. That juicy juice. Damn. Good stuff right there. Absolutely incredible. Never gets old, guys. Never gets old. This is the first time I brought old Goofhead with me. Old Goofy Goof. Man, since there's so many red ones, it almost makes the Rugelii kind of stand out amongst the red ones. Awesome. Alright, we're going to see if we can hit one more spot before the storm decides to roll in. Isn't that right, dog? But goddamn! Goddamn! Alright, we're at another spot before we dive into the Sarracenia action again. Wanted to show you a new milkweed I checked off my list. Never seen this guy before. This right here is Asclepias covenants, the large flowered milkweed. And it definitely has large flowers, to say the least. I mean, these are the biggest milkweed flowers I've ever seen. It's got that long stem with these actually pretty nice looking leaves. Man, but that is awesome. Asclepias covenants, large flowered milkweed. Another one to check off the list. I like my milkweeds. Man, that is such a cool flower. Super cool. Here we got another one of those milkweeds. That big flower. There's all kinds of stuff happening on here. There's a crab spider basically hanging out grabbing the pollinators that try to come visit this flower. That practice is known as kleptoparasitism. Yeah, he's just hanging out waiting. And up here, there's some kind of beetle that's face deep in this thing. Potential pollinator. He decided to fuck off. But man, that is such a cool milkweed. Asclepias covenants. See if I can get a good picture of that crab or spider on there. It's just nuts. Man, look at that. Blood red Pinguicula planifolia. Next to some sizable Sarracenia. And that gives way to heaven on earth. Guys, look at this population. I don't think you'll see too many places that have this kind of density of this color form of Sarracenia flava. We have a fellow enthusiast out here. Come here and say hi. Alright, now we got our beautiful field of Sarracenia here. And here's another native orchid for me to knock off my list. This showy guy here is Platanthera, however you want to pronounce that, nivea, or the snowy white orchid. Beautiful orchid. And that gleaming white color. Awesome plant. And there's a lot of them. All those little white towers you see is Platanthera nivea. Or Platanthera, however you want to say it. And we got a lot of orchid diversity going on here. We got Calopogon pallidus. And then here's a white form of Calopogon pallidus. What an amazing place. Get another up close on one of those. Very showy little orchid here. Even though it's all white, you know, you can spot them from really far away. The lady I met back there was pretty nice too. Good to see other people are appreciating this. And you have to watch where you step around here, because the ground is just absolutely covered in carnivorous plants. You got all these Pinguicula planifolia, you got Sarracenia citacina down there, the Sarracenia, kinds of good stuff. More orchids. Yeah, watch where you step. Man, the pings are huge this year. It's just crazy. Very special place. And a nice addition in this field is there is the most famous carnivorous plant of all growing here. There they are. Dionea mouse scapula. The famous Venus flytrap in the wild. Now, I was always told that your wild varieties won't be as big as the cultivated ones. Well, I think somebody lied to me. Because, I mean, look at the size of this trap. It's huge. Just as big as some of the cultivated varieties. Just huge traps on these guys this year. And here's their flowers. Now this isn't native to this area. Someone a couple of decades ago decided it would be a fun idea to plant these out in several different areas and several different counties in the Panhandle. Yet again, you know, don't go planting anything that's not native to your habitat, even if it's super cool like this, you know. There are a lot of them. Wow, here's some that are really super red. Just so awesome to see these things in the wild. Their habitat in the Carolinas is shrinking fast, and they'll probably go extinct in their native habitat within my lifetime. But it's nice to see them here. I mean, you just look through the grass and the population is rather thick. Ticket's probably stepping on a couple, but that's not the biggest deal. Alright, now back to the Sarracenia. And this crazy dense Venus flytrap population down here. There's just hundreds of traps all over the ground. It's incredible. And the size some of these things have on them is just insane. Very exceptional. You got diversity in the population too. Really nice to see. It's a truly exquisite scene. I mean, here we have before us are thousands of carnivorous plants. All those light, tall, stringy plants, that's all Drosera filiformis, intermixed with Sarracenia. The white flowers right there in the center are Venus flytraps. I mean, and it just goes on and on and on. Panhandle is truly a special place. Here we got a nice dog that's freaking out because of the thunder. Right next to another nice Asclepias covenants. I don't know, man, this might be one of my favorite milkweed varieties now. It might just be recency bias though, since today's the first time I've ever seen it. But man, I mean, comically large flowers. The wildflower diversity in this field is just astonishing. I mean, my forte is the carnivorous plants, but there's probably a little bit of something for everybody in this field. Man, Asclepias covenants though. I like it. See all kinds of fun stuff. Little scrub mints. And of course, intermixed with the exceptional Sarracenia. Man, that wind feels good. There's some particularly dark individuals. Man, look at that. The dog sure appreciates it. Don't you, Ticket? And amongst all the large carnivorous plants, we got really small ones too. This is Utricularia resupinata, I believe. Almost looks similar to Purpurea, but flowers look a little bit small. Might be Purpurea. I'm just used to the flowers being bigger. Yet again, he's Utricularia. All that brown icky stuff is his trapping leaves, or his trapping mechanisms, I should say, that trap little microorganisms under the water. Yeah, the little bladders are too small to see. Get him back settled in there. But yeah, I mean, most of these carnivorous plants aren't related to each other. They're just co-evolving the need for carnivory because the soil is piss poor. Man, Sarracenia psittacina though. Killer. Here we have another species of Pinguicula down here. Now, given the area we're in, this is probably Pinguicula ionatha. Had to see the flower to be sure, but I'm guessing ionatha just because of where we're at. There's definitely not as many of these as there is the red planifolia. Little tiny Drosera capillaris next to it. But yeah, it got that chartreuse green-yellow color down here amongst a bunch of Sarracenia seedlings, or probably a couple years old, being at that size. And the Drosera, and the everything. Oh, good stuff. Oh, I see something red over there. I'm gonna go check it out.